Ready?
Good.
Okay, let's call this special meeting to order Tuesday, January 6th, 2026 at 10 a.m. We'll begin with roll call. Kramer is not currently here. Ferguson,
Here.
Coontz, here. Service.
Here.
I'd like to acknowledge all the other attendees in the room. So thank you very much for coming. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. So do we have any call for changes of the current agenda? Have any additions to it? Okay, seeing none, here's all make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
1 second. Donna's got it.
Donna seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, conflict of interest. I don't know that there'll be one on here, but if there is, please state it. So on to the items of business. We only have one item on the agenda. Approved Sun Grant commitment lender and funds matching. So, yes, I'll just make a motion to approve and we can have our discussion under the motion. So I'll make a motion to approve Sun Grant commitment lender and funds matching.
I have a question.
I'll second for discussion. So.
Seconds, okay.
What is the town going to get out of this?
So this all came about because when they were making the lagoons, we ran into more sludge than we thought was there at the bottom of Lagoon B. And so he laid it out on the eastern edge of the property in order to dry out and stuff like that, and never got around to spreading it out, which is what we're required to do through DANR. And so what this will do is provide us with a vehicle to get that done. So to dig out those solids, spread them on the fields. So that's why we have letters from Negebauers and stuff here talking about that, and then the other stuff from them back it, I guess, is their ownership claims and so it'll get us.
Linda's here. She's just in the kitchen.
Oh, she is. Okay. So let's take a pause here while Linda.
I'm here, sorry, hi.
Okay, Linda just showed up at
10:04.
10:04. Let the record reflect.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're answering the question, what does the town get out of this? And so at the end of the day, this will put us into compliance with DANR regarding the biosolids that were deposited next to the detention basin during the course of building the lagoon. And so not to exceed 8,000, which, should not cost that much, but that's what this letter would be pledging if we were to accept it. Would cover the digging it out, spreading it, filling that spot back in with dirt, and also I think that would be our portion of the grant, and then the School of Mines would do their matching part of it, which would help fund the planting of sunflowers to help remediate some of the, I guess, the nitrogen load that we deposited along with the biosolids. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1. It'll get us into compliance with DANR. It'll also kind of I mean, the other thing is, on top of the DANR, the EPA is also looking at us for some of our past transgressions. Most of us were on the board, and if not all of us. And so we have to make sure that we're in compliance with this so that DANR can show to the EPA that that we have remediated the situation. So if we don't do it with this method, we'll have to do a different method at some point in the future. And the other thing too, is that if we do nothing, eventually we'll start racking up fines. So we have to do something about it. This is one vehicle to do it, but anyway, so Aaron.
So the vehicle seems like a good vehicle to do it, but so my question is, so this is within the scope of the lagoon project is what originated this. That lagoon project was contracted and that contractor was bonded for completion of the project. So how is it the town's responsibility at this point? Why would we give taxpayer money for a problem that was not the result of actions of citizens or the board? And yeah, I guess that's kind of where I'm at. You know, if we're doing this, if that's the reason, is that if we don't do this, mediate this, then we're going to deal with fallout. That's good, and this is a good vehicle to do that. But for us to be the ones paying the check when writing the check when it wasn't us who caused the problem, that's where my concern comes in.
I think that's a valid concern, and I'm glad that you brought that up. You know, I wonder if we were to go this route and any funds that we outlay because of that would be for the reason you mentioned. Thus, we would have so-called damages, I guess you could say. We could probably then apply to his, I guess, is it bonding insurance? Is that how it goes?
My understanding, right, is project is bonded, insured, and
You should have, still have bonded, but
left turnkey essentially.
Yeah, so I don't know that we would be able to do anything until we have damages, but anyways, Donna, did you have?
well, so then who's gonna do this work? We're gonna have to have it bid out or what? How's this work gonna get done?
Well, that's another good question, and we could do an RFP for that as well. And I'm sure if Ferguson Construction wanted to do that, it would likely be within their wheelhouse. I mean, it's just digging out the solids and putting them into the spreader, I suppose, or into a pile that the spreader can take from. And then after that, we're gonna need to source dirt and then put the dirt back in.
That was gonna be my question. Where's the dirt coming from?
So at this point, we don't have
Well, I've
a,
got a plan for us to accumulate some dirt, but that's a discussion for another day.
Okay,
at this point, we don't have a completely solid plan for the dirt. You know, as usually is the case with some of these, there's kind of some ideas on the table which may pan out, but yeah, that's another good question, Mark.
But remember, there was a change order a while back that the town paid them considerable amount of money to deal with that sludge and spread it out. Why wasn't that done then?
it was.
So then it is spread out.
It's spread in too small of an area is what I'm getting out of it.
Well, then they didn't
There was,
do it.
there was more sludge than was anticipated in the project. And so they took it, they spread it, but it in a smaller area, and now it needs to be, and not only from that, but from the past. This stuff is the way I'm understanding it, but,
Yeah, and so,
I guess I'm confused by that. I mean, if we paid them money to do the job,
we paid them money to do the job and put it right where they put it, as I recall. And, and that's too small of a space.
Yeah, Aaron.
I think this may have been, yeah, maybe this is a little candid. I think this may have been a scope component. We had a contractor for dirt work, not a contractor who necessarily specializes in this sort of mediation activity. So it was kind of like a easier, he's the one building, we'll do it, just let him do it. Where we didn't really say, all right, we need somebody who's kind of used to this kind of mediation effort. That's kind of maybe where it came around. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we should review, the contracts with him and see if it was explicitly called out in there that he was tasked with the remediation. Just to make sure, and see if it does in fact lie with him. But, and to Linda's point that she made, so they spread it out on approximately 1 acre along that strip on the east side of the detention basin between the berm and the fence. And after the calculations were done, it was found that that quantity of biosolids needs to be spread over an area of 12 acres. So that's kind of
It's a lot of difference.
the difference. What we have versus what we needed to have. So, Aaron, did you have a hand up?
I'm good, I'm good for the moment. I'm thinking about the possible amendment to the motion.
Well, I think that, I mean, it is unfortunate. There's no doubt about it. It's unfortunate. And we can go through all the paperwork and make sure that it's, shouldn't be covered by past contractors. But I think from what I know of the subject, it won't be. It is gonna be our dime, unfortunately. And the part that disappoints me a lot is that there's more coming from the state and the federal levels than was expected, and maybe is how I should say that. And I think now because of that, we just have to do something. I mean, like I said, we can go through the paperwork and make sure that somebody else is not responsible for this. But one way or another, it has to be done. And this seems like a good way to get it done to me. So,
Yeah, and I was on a call with the state and Anthony last week, and that's where the mention of the EPA comes in, because the EPA is talking to them. So they have, just to let you know, they have meetings with the EPA at with whatever frequency that they do. But one topic of discussion is the town of Hermosa, since it's been on the EPA's radar for a while. And so, the DANR has to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, so they can report to the EPA and let them know that we're doing things the right way too, which, it's, at the end of the day, it's good for everybody, but then we have to deal with things as they come up like this. So, anyways, so did you have anyone, Mark?
I do. So the way this is going, and we say an acre isn't enough to do it, but yet they're only gonna use it on 1 acre.
Where are you seeing that?
Cooperation in the growing of sunflowers on a 1 acre portion of the property.
Okay,
that's all that's getting tested.
is that the MOU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's getting spread everywhere, but on that 1 acre,
Well, this is a draft MOU actually. So what is up for discussion now is the commitment letter, which I don't think is in this packet. It showed up after the packet was printed, but that MOU will likely be updated to reflect this change. Because I know at one point, we were looking at just doing the remediation in situ before we had the call with the ANR to find out, well, if, can we do that? And if not, why not? And so then it was discussed at the call that, you know, having 3 feet of solids over an acre is too much. And so that we need to do the remediation, and that the sunflower method, it, per the requirements that they have from EPA, would not provide that remediation. At least maybe, and either it wouldn't provide the remediation quick enough, or they don't have any data to support that. I don't know exactly why that is, but so that's why we went from the 1 acre to the 12 acres of spreading. So I would expect that the number of acreage of sunflowers would also increase, but I don't know that for certain.
So
These
then,
are,
Sorry.
The sludge that's out there. Do we have a testing sample from it and a letter from, so it tests too high for land application? Is that letter available?
yeah, I'm pretty sure I have the results of that in my email. So, if you want, after the meeting, I can bring that up and show it to you. I
I'd
can
appreciate
send it to you as well. Yeah. Donna, did you have a question?
well, so then what do we do with the sunflowers?
Well, it will be in partnership with the School of Mines, that portion of this. So that's where the grant comes in, is to, so the portions of those will be used, like, I guess the oils will be used for biofuels research and stuff like that. Then I think the remainder could be used for animal silage or something like that. It doesn't say specifically,
There's gonna be selling sunflower bouquets.
right, in the commitment letter, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good question too.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know at this point, we know where every part of it's gonna
Well,
go.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Okay, Linda, then Mark.
It does make it kind of hard when there's so many unknowns.
Right.
And I get that in the public's eye, in my own eye, it's kind of hard. But like I said, the fact that we have to do something, and this has a partial grant associated with it, makes it maybe more appealing than waiting and seeing what the next option would be, you know. I don't know, but
Well, I mean, could we get this remediation done for less than $8,000? Probably, right? You think so?
I think absolutely not.
You don't think so?
I don't think there's a cheaper path than remediation,
no.
but I do stand that I do not think in the end, we should just say, oh, well, we just have to pay it because it happened. It's our problem. I think that yeah, I would like to make a motion to amend as follows.
Okay,
Motion to approve Sun Grant commitment letter and fund matching with direction to the town attorney to evaluate for past reimbursement.
yeah, I'll second that. Linda?
So you're asking the attorney to do the research on the past mediation? Is that not something that our office staff should do, or we should do, and then give him the information so that he can do with it hopefully something that is beneficial? I mean, the research alone, I mean, that's costing us money for him to do the research on it.
So I think the amendment was for the attorney to research the path to, what was the term you used?
Yeah, basically just quickly identify the path for paths to reimbursement. Just Identify where he thinks reimbursement.
So we could fill him in on the the background information. And so what I'm thinking when I hear that is we fill him in on the background information so he doesn't have to go out and find that, but then it would be up to him to say, okay, well,
Yeah.
what then, knowing this, do we need to do? And do we have a path for reimbursement that, like, so we mentioned, maybe one avenue is the contractor's bond or something like that. So part of that would also be identifying in the contract that we had with, um,
Right.
to see if there's, language in there that they would be responsible for the remediation of any biosolids.
Yeah, that change order, copy of that change order that covered it. I mean, yeah, like, what do you think?
Okay,
Not necessarily an in-depth opinion. That's why I didn't use the word opinion, but more just an evaluation, like, what's your thoughts, Scott?
gotcha.
Yeah, I like that. Any, other discussion on the motion to amend? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Bye.
Aye, motion carries. So the amended motion now reads, Aaron, would you like to read that?
Yep, motion to approve some grant commitment letter and fund matching with direction to the town attorney to evaluate for past reimbursement.
Okay, very good. So do we have, any further discussion on the motion that was recently amended?
I think there were other questions that I was asked thinking about it, like, so basically we're gonna pay for this grant, sunflowers are gonna be grown, where's the sunflowers going? Is this, I don't know, is that a path to reimbursement? All right, the town's funding this bond to get these sunflowers, who's gonna get the sunflowers? Are gonna get them for free, or are they gonna help us kick back a little bit back towards this reimbursement? Or is it just gonna be like, we send this money out and hope everything goes good and EPA and the DNR end up happy with us at the end of the day? No, I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that.
No, but that is a question we need to ask.
Well,
Donna brought that up too, what's happening with the sunflowers. I think that's something that, a few more details are needed here.
yeah, you know what? Look this up. Mark, do you have a question?
I do, but the sunflowers and the socks, I don't think that is even a question. They're all gonna get processed and tested for biofuel reaction. They're gonna have a high metallic content because the concentration is so, there wouldn't be a viable product for anything, anywhere. My biggest thing about this is there are cities and towns all over the state that process their own sludge on very small parcels. They'll compost it, they'll burn it. As long as it's dry, I don't understand why SDNR would give a hoot about it unless it's still a pile of mud sitting there. But there's piles all over, because once it's dry, it will test good for land application. So the whole thing is a little confusing to me.
Yeah.
So that is a question probably for our engineer.
I think the main reason is we have extra scrutiny right now from the EPA. And so I think if there's something going on that for whatever reason does not match up with their expectations, then, DANR is going to hear about it and then we get to hear about it. So.
The way that I remember the meetings going and the change orders and Anthony suggesting this is that, and I think we paid a considerable amount of money to put that sludge out, and they committed to doing that. If they needed to rotate it, if they needed to do whatever, I think that should have been fulfilled. I would hate to see the town spend money on somebody putting fear on our eyes that, oh, we could get in trouble down the road, and play that. Sometimes people can play those cards to push something through. And I'm not so sure that Anthony himself wouldn't have some liability for the sludge out there since he engineered the project. I think core samples should have been taken and they should have had a good idea of how much sludge was in the ponds. Right?
So we did have sample data. So, I talked to him about this, to some degree, and the estimates that we had for the number of sludge was based on, samples that were taken, but my understanding was they were taken by ACES and rural water in kind of a joint effort. They went out there in a boat and went around and took samples, wherever they took them. And so the estimate for the sludge was based on that. And from what I heard, I mean, instead of being inches of sludge that we expected, there was feet of sludge. So, I mean, that was, anyway. And,
Sorry, I don't mean to be a naysayer here, but when Benish took it over, they would have had a responsibility to do their own due diligence for their company and not trust previous report. I'm not trying to be a naysayer, but there's some responsibility here to people other than the citizens of this town.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Um, had we thought of it at the time, I'm sure that would have been something to bring up and ensure that happened. Donna, and then,
Well, if ACES took them, why didn't we not follow up with Benish taking them or somebody else taking them, not ACES?
I think that was the point too. Yeah, Linda.
I mean, it is a point. However, I was there when the testing was done by Rule and ACES. And the boat was out in the water and I was on the sidelines actually messing with the rope that the boat was tied to. So, I think that's when I damn near fell in that Chuck gives me so much grief about. I didn't actually fall in, but I mean, I lost my footing and I was not right on the water's edge, thank God, when I did that. So, but, they sampled it in many places. The boat moved and it was sampled in many places and I don't know why it showed the inches rather than the feet. I don't understand that. Well, that's sad. That's a
I
fact.
mean, that's the only logic, and I think we need to find out who made that mistake.
Aaron.
I think what we're kind of getting into is that, all right, so there's concerns about future ramifications. There's concerns about past and maybe existing transparency. Looking through this document, key partnerships and roles, town of Hermosa is responsible for the cost of land apply biosolids. South Dakota School of Mines, primary investigator, providing subject matter expertise for surveys, site assessments, so on and so forth. Nagerbauer Dairy Farms, managing the process of growing sunflowers for soil remediation. National Laboratory of the Rockies, determine heavy metal and lignin composition of stalks, leaves, and seed and other biomass. So we, as a town, are partners in this. If there's any way to mitigate concerns from state agencies, it's absolute transparency. I think what I would expect from this is that it will be the town board itself being reported to directly, not through engineering, not through other subcontractors, but any communications with these partners, any evaluations, any test results, any ongoing activities, the entire process needs to be, I think, interacted with directly by the board. If that means we appoint a liaison within the board, that's fine, but it sounds like we do need to bring this to the level of policymakers and outside the control of contractors. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Linda, did you have your hand up?
No, sorry.
Okay. Yeah, it's all good, good points here. I mean, that's unfortunate we're in this spot kind of again, right? But,
I just can't understand how come we were taking ACES information. And we should have been doing our own, so we knew it was right.
Oh, Donna, I kind of think you know, there's state regulations that you have to follow. And as I recall, and God help me, I didn't, when I was down there, I didn't feel like we were doing it for aces. Let's put it that way. So it was the rural guy that, as I recall, Chuck called and said, hey, we need, you know, can you help us with this? And he came down. Him and Chuck have a very good rapport. And uh, I don't, I think Aces was either gone or half gone at the time. I don't know. They sure weren't, they sure haven't been around for a long time, I'll tell you that. So, but I mean, that would take more research too, to do, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, I think Aces worked alongside rural water to do it, as far as what I understand it to be. So I don't know that it would be us. I mean, to me, I think of Aces as kind of like the repository for the information and the vehicle by which the information kind of made it to the town. Mark,
I'm sorry, I know nobody wants this meeting to go on longer, so when we do this, the waste is gonna sit there for at least 3 or 4 months still.
so this is what I was looking for on here. So if you go, and it's in this white paper that we have. If you look at phase 3, so do you have a copy? Okay, all right, thanks, Terry. All this stuff came in after the packet was printed, so I mean, that's just what happens sometimes. So anyways, so if you go to phase 3 on page 5 of the white paper, which is the inside of the last page of that mini packet, and if you go down, it says the third item on that list: harvest sunflower seeds and bale sunflower stover, ensuring a zero waste process. So to me, it looks like they are planning on removing the sunflower waste um, after harvest or during harvest, so that there will be, a bunch of dying plants laying there. And then after that, it says retest soil after harvest for comparative analysis, sure outcomes, sample stocks, leaves, and seeds, composition testing, and then go to the project wind down and the final report writing. So, I mean, at least from this item here, it looks like they are planning on doing something with them at harvest time and not necessarily just gonna leave them there to rot.
That's not actually what I meant.
Okay.
I mean, the sludge that's where it's at right now, where it's sitting. It looks to me, reading this, that it's still gonna sit there for a little while before they move it. Like, is this a time sensitive thing? Is that why we're?
I think it's the grant commitment that is due by 5 PM tomorrow.
Right.
This grant, the funds matching is what disappears tomorrow. The whole process is something we could probably fund fully. So if it's a matching, I'm guessing it would kick up to 16,000 instead of 8,000.
Well,
But I
he
think
said that this was like a $45,000 grant.
Is it?
I thought it was an 80-20.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's either of those situations.
Yeah, so 40,000.
So yeah.
So where does the other? 13,000?
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think for me to approve this, I would need to know that we're gonna get really, really tight bookkeeping on this. I'm kind of bookkeeping data. I would want to see all of it. I'm interested. It's science. I would want to see all of it. Where the money's going, who's spending it, what's being done, when. Reports directly to the board, not third-hand information. It's citizen money we're spending, so. Yeah, that's me. It's my position.
Okay. Do you want to amend the motion to reflect that, or?
I need to think. For a second.
Okay. As far as I know, we don't have a specific timeline through DANR to perform the remediation process. So, I mean, they're not asking us to do it right away, but there's kind of an understanding that it's not just gonna sit there and drag on, that we're gonna get it done. And kind of my thoughts on the matter are get it done by this fall is kind of, although it wasn't stated specifically, that's kind of where I kind of interpreted the, with the meeting, how the meeting went. Yes, sir.
One last thing, and I promise I'm done. So if it is sitting there till fall, and it has,
It'll be done by the fall, yeah.
You think?
Seeds planted and everything.
I'm just wondering if it's gonna sit there for a couple months, right where it's at.
Was gonna happen.
Is there any chance that it will dry enough to get the levels down? So it can just be land applied and we could give it to somebody?
You know if you've seen this?
I mean, the requirements are pretty slack on it, to be honest, for metal content.
Well, it's not just metal, it's also the agronomic load of the nitrogen content.
Sure.
That, I think that was their main concern. And so, I mean, the process of, so originally, like we mentioned, he wanted, so Anthony wanted to do the sunflower project just where it sits, right? And do the remediation in situ. And that, for whatever reason, that's not gonna work. And so the idea is that we have to have it dug out and then spread across that 12-acre area so that we can be within the agronomic rate, which basically just means that we don't have too much nitrogen sitting on top of the soil in any one place. I mean, it's, maybe I don't know that. Anyways, the thing is it's kind of this specific part of the process of spreading it over the area is it sounds to me like a specific requirement coming from the EPA and then coming to us from the DANR. Aaron.
Yeah, so I actually want to bring Briley in on this. Briley, have you seen this?
Yeah,
You want to come take a look?
if I came, I did the packet for today, she helped me.
So,
So I don't know how much you've heard. So there's this whole sunflower thing. It's basically a graduate program at mines. I'm wondering if this is something that you would want to essentially kind of be the data gathering point. So it's got a point of contact. They don't have the student listed here, but here's kind of the phase plan they're looking at. If you want to look through there, because my thoughts is that if the town is going to fund this, at least the part of the grant, provide the money that fuels the grant, then we should be getting something out of it, and maximum data is a good thing, and something to put another thing to put on our website. All right, this is how the new Hermosa is doing things. We're putting our best foot forward, and she just finished her capstone project like months ago. So this whole
What?
her graduate project.
Which was what?
What was your capstone?
My group was working on the legislative website and added just some of my features on it, like coding, dish stuff.
Nice. Sounds good. I love it. Yeah.
Another coder.
I know. Well, we can talk about it after the meeting, but one of the things I did for fun in the paper mills was to automate the data processing of years worth of data so that I could prove that our control systems were having a positive effect over time as in response to the service I was providing them. So anyways, we can cut that out, but Donna.
well, it says here planning preparation, March 1st to mid-April.
So they're wanting this so that the sunflower seeds are planted this year and harvested this year.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
And so it's months is how, yeah, it is gonna sit there for a few months. But it's gonna have to be,
Well,
they plant sunflowers, yeah.
start in March, they'll have to start by digging it out and
Right.
spreading it. So that, to me, that would be the first half of March. Then maybe the planting and the backfilling would be
Yeah, Yeah, I don't know when they plant sunflower seeds. If they're waiting for zero frost, it's way after that, so.
Okay, well, yeah, so it says clear and prepare
Just wanna
site for
attach to the end.
sunflower planting, and that's
What
one
are
of the
we
last
amending?
things, and then,
Yeah.
the end of that
You're
time
amending-
period
so
is
you're gonna amend the
mid-April,
original
so.
motion,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
You're kind of amending it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Motion. Add. Current motion.
So has anybody talked to Negabrod and Bells other than Scott?
I have,
Anthony.
if you're asking if a board member has.
You have.
Be current
I have
amended
not.
motion?
Current amended motion.
That's right.
I would assume Anthony has.
We already
Yeah.
passed them and then.
Yeah.
Mark?
I guess I would feel better if Anthony was here. I mean, I'm guessing he's writing this grant, so are they getting a lot of funding from this?
I don't know if he is writing the grant, to be honest with you. I think it's an existing grant that we are just applying for.
Filling in the,
Yeah, I mean, he's not here because he's traveling back from
Should
wherever he was.
should be coming back.
You good with that?
Do you have another question?
This is the
quit promising. I don't want to hear
Yeah,
it.
it's become a lot.
It was like 6 months.
A lot.
That's right. So,
I don't know what to do with it. What do you think?
All right, if DNR, whatever you say, DE,
mhm.
is gonna require us to do something with it. This would be probably the most affordable outlet to do it. If it turns out this is absolutely the town's responsibility. Again, I absolutely think it's not. I think it should be the engineers who designed it or the company that performed it. But if it is absolutely necessary to get rid of it, this would be the most affordable avenue. I think without a doubt to do it. I just don't think we should have ever been put in this position. Whether or not it was past work or past studies or whatever, a project like this, the engineer should have had he should have known. And we did, we paid Broke a lot of money to remediate this stuff. And if they knew they didn't have enough land to do it, which an engineer should have been able to tell them that that wasn't enough land, I think we absolutely need to look back and hold somebody else accountable.
Okay, Aaron.
I've got another amendment, unless anybody else thinks that this is I don't know if everybody's kind of under the thing that we're gonna need to let this go. We're gonna need to move this through. I don't know. You don't want to vote yet, but, on a motion to amend. Terry's already got it down. So,
Okay.
motion to add to current amended motion. So just an apex and appoint administrative assistant as town liaison.
Okay, can you say that again, please?
And appoint administrative assistant as town liaison.
Okay, for the, grant project. Okay. I can second that.
I can give you a little more thought if that's helpful.
Sure, yeah, if you want to add some thought on the discussion portion.
Yeah, so that way, I kind of think that's what makes sure that, the town has direct information gathering, and I'm sure she's more than capable of establishing contact with the mines, graduate program that's gonna be doing it, so that we have a direct pathway to oversight and information gathering, so that we can, at the end of this, be like, all right, citizens, this is exactly where this money goes, this is exactly why it was spent, and this is what came of it, and it could turn out to be like a really cool thing.
Mhm.
But the town, I do think as policymakers, we need to have a direct pathway to oversight over all of this. That really is just collected and handed to us.
Right, and really, to be clear though, we do have a direct path to oversight on everything that we do, whether or not we choose to exercise it. But having an appointed liaison will make the data collection more efficient. And then also, we have an in-house person dedicated to that we can ask questions of and things like that. So I think
Good with it?
I think it would be great. I mean, I would like to get all the emails and stuff too, and I'm sure you would and everybody else too, so that we can also look at it too, but then to have a dedicated person that's there to take in the information, collate it, and get it ready for presentation on the website. I think that would be phenomenal.
I mean, that could turn out to be a really cool thing to have.
I think it will. I think it's beyond
We're
good. Yeah,
doing things right as much as we can.
absolutely. So, okay. So, any further discussion on the second motion to amend? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. So back to the original motion. Do we have any further discussion on the original motion that's now been undergone its second amendment?
Second Amendment, I mean,
There you go. You only get two though. Any further?
The only thing that I can think of is that, the research, I guess it doesn't need to be done by tomorrow, but it would be nice if we could go through the Baroque, the contractors and see if that funding could be shipped their way a little bit, whatever, their costs. Or get money back from them or whatever, their guarantees. It would be nice if we would have that information by tomorrow at 5 when this contract is signed. But like I said, I don't know that it really matters.
that's the thing. I feel like we're kind of
Pushing.
we're sticking a plug in a hole, and
Yeah.
then we're probably gonna have to turn it to an actual patch later. But for now,
Right.
And I don't know Scott will be able to tell us this, but I don't know that we even have a path to have any remuneration unless we do have some
something to
additional
mediate, yeah.
outlay.
Right.
So,
Right? You can't ask for money that you haven't. You can't ask for repairs to damage that hasn't been done yet.
right. And also for an example too, like if we didn't do anything, we will receive fines. Right.
Yeah.
How much would they be? Right.
And when do they start?
And when do they start? So then, but you can't say that, oh, well, we're going to get fined. So now we have to go after somebody for them because we said, we don't know when they start. We don't know how much they'll be or how long they would last, presumably until it got fixed anyway. So, anyway, so all that being said, do we have any further discussion? Any questions, comments?
I mean, for Linda's concerns about Riley could probably pull that packet together, right, of the contract, and then
You bet.
as a part of it all.
Be good research. Good way to figure things out.
Okay. You okay with that, Bradley?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds good to me. Alrighty, anything further? Okay, all those in favor?
Right.
Aye. Very good. Motion carries. On to items from constituents. I don't know if Riley lives here yet, but I see two constituents out there. I know one's had a lot to say so far, but if you have something else to add.
That's funny.
You do as promised. Thank you. Do we have any comments, questions, concerns from the other constituent?
Missed most of it, I guess, but no.
Okay, well, thank you very much. On to trustee input. Any trustee input here?
I guess. I kind of want this, we've had a lot of special meetings, and I don't know, I guess maybe we'll amend tomorrow's agenda or something like that. I think we should waive the pay on this one. That's my position. We've had a lot of special meetings recently. We're spending a lot of our trustee money right out of the gate this year.
Okay, so we can, is it too late to put an item on it's not too late to put an item on tomorrow's agenda to waive the pay for this meeting?
We could just amend it.
We can amend it.
Yeah, that's
Probably the easiest path, but at least now we have actually technically given notice that we're gonna probably
Yeah, I can,
do that.
I can be okay with that. All right, any other input? Donna, Linda? Nope. Okay, I don't really have any either. We pretty much talked about everything during the discussion, so I don't believe we need to have an executive session right now, Aaron.
I do have an update on something carrying over from the last executive.
You do?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I would be
I think we should go into executive
very
session.
short legal personnel.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, I'll make a motion to
I'll second that motion.
enter executive session for legal and personnel.
okay. Linda seconds, okay. At 2:51 AM. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So let's close up for
Yeah,
executive.
I'm gonna step outside real quick.
Turn off all the sound recorders.
Okay, I guess I'll make a motion to exit executive session at 11:11 a.m.
Second.
Donna seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye, motion carries, so we are now.
I'll go
out of
unlock the door.
executive session. I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 11 a.m. Anyone like to second that motion?
I'll second. Oh, Donna's got it.
Donna?
Nobody's out here, so we're good.
Okay. Alrighty, so we have a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Motion already on the floor.
Okay, yay,
All
meeting adjourned.
those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, meeting adjourned.
No, we're